All right, welcome folks. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. It is 4:14:21 at about 1:15 in the afternoon Central Standard Time. I was having some streaming issues with my software, and so as I work through that, I'm just going to go ahead and record the SITREP and put it out there. But as we kind of get through some of this, I just want to show you, point out a couple things going on in the U.S., and then I want to do a little bit of a dive onto some of the stuff we're seeing going on with the Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, aka the spa. And so currently right now across the US, I think we're sitting a little high, maybe about 75 high. We're sitting at 345, so actually close to 100 higher than usual in terms of aircraft up, military aircraft up, that is. But as we look down into the actual details of the aircraft, it does look like we've got one of the presidential 757-200s that is currently airborne. That thing is coming out of, looks like North Texas area. This is Dallas right here. So it looks like it traveled down south, down towards Galveston, and then this weird looking dash line that comes across and down, I think that's just a break in the signal. It probably did a smoother line and went this way, just straight across, across the Gulf region right here, south of Louisiana and Florida. But it looks like it has taken a left at Tampa around MacDill Air Force Base and is headed northbound at the moment. So I will tell you, I don't know if anybody is even on that. I don't know what Bob Marley's schedule is at the moment. I can tell you Flashbang is at the Senior Living Center today. And so, but that said, a couple things I wanted to point out while we're looking at the U.S., and then we'll get into the spa. We do have, let's see, we've got two E6, which are the looking glasses. As you guys are familiar with those, those are currently up. And so you guys know that's kind of a airborne command center, but they call it looking glass, similar to what the Night Watch would do, okay, from a command standpoint. But that one is up. And then I also noticed that we've got three P8s up. Those are kind of all in this general Warner Robins area. And so just kind of point out real fast, we do have three R135s that are up. Those not familiar with these aircraft, this is going to be kind of a surveillance bird. So you guys know that little doghouse on the side there. It's got and both sides, it's got a side-looking radar, and then all of these antennas along the top here, and this little dome in the back here, another little doghouse. Thing's got a lot of capability for doing surveillance. So three of those up right now currently across the central United States. And let me just double check as I kick through. I think everything else looked to be like really heavy on trainers. Then we got a lot of things here that are just not marked as anything in general. So, but that's okay. We're going to back out of that just a little bit. What I really wanted to point out was I've been looking at some of the activity that's been going on at the spa. And so we're going to dive into that. I just want to show you these Phoenix birds. Now remember, these are agency birds. And so when I've been, yesterday we were looking at, when we were going live, we were looking at some of them departing from the spa. And it caught my attention because they weren't on the arrival boards, which tells me they're sneaking in and then they're boogieing out on the back end. And, it's just kind of an interesting thing. These guys are flying all over the world. They're at a lot of our prison locations. I've caught them all the way out in the South Pacific at Camp Justice. I've caught them at Terceira. They are in Africa. They're in Indonesia. They're all over the place. But one thing I wanted to point out, this one is took off. This is landed 22 hours ago, and it left the spa and went into Miami. And that is actually not Miami International. That's actually a little smaller airport area, okay? It's called Apalaka Executive Airport, okay? So that said, I just want to point out that thing, where it came from, okay? First off, it was out in Kansas, and it went to Langley Air Force Base, okay? And you guys know who's at Langley. I don't need to say that. If you're not familiar with the agencies that are in Langley, that's you definitely want to look that one up, okay? But Langley Air Force Base, and then it went back to its home base at Cartersville, and then from Cartersville, 2 days later, it went to up to the brown zone to Andrews, and then from Andrews down to the spa. And now here we go from the spa over to Apalaka, and then back to its home base. So this is Cartersville is where the thing they operate out of. The owner is showing CFF Air Inc. Okay, that's not your normal Phoenix Air Company. That looks to be some type of a lease or an arrangement that they're using. And it's not one of your normal Graybirds. This is going to be N549 PA, which is going to be a Learjet. Okay, so that one we need to watch. And it looks like they've got some kind of a little operation going on down here in this general area, because you'll notice we're seeing some of the other agency service provider birds, charters that are going to that same location, operating out of there. Okay, now this is another one of your Phoenix Airs, and it's en route. It's landing in 53 minutes, but it just took off out of the spa, and it's headed over to that same location, Apalaka. Okay, and so here it is. That blue dotted line right there is going to be the flight path, the planned flight path, and then the green is actual. Okay, and so this thing's coming out of Norfolk, Virginia, went down to the spa, and looks like it's rolled out of the spa over to Apalaka. So I don't know what's happening over here in Apalaka. Again, second bird headed over the same location. Okay, now let's go over here to N312FU. This one is currently rolling out of Lauderdale. It's headed into New Orleans. All right, and so that's your Maxwell bird. But I want to point out, look where this was yesterday, Apalaka. Same thing. Okay. We've got some agency work going on right now down here. I don't know what they're doing, but we definitely have something going on, and they're operating out of that location. So we need to keep close eyes on it, because I think something's afoot. Okay. All right. Now this is going to be your live. So I was looking at the Phoenix birds in general. Now that is your live one. That's the one that just left the spa and that's headed to Apalaka. Okay. And then this N163PA, it landed 7 hours, 42 minutes ago. Notice where it's coming out of. Indonesia, going to Guam. Okay. Don't know who's on it, but this is one we were tracking. It was out here operating at Anderson Air Force Base, which is Guam. Okay. But it's been in China, went to Guam, Brunei International. Okay. And now then it was in Indonesia. Again, Indonesia, now back over to Guam. So somebody's out here doing some leg work. Again, these are agency birds for the most part, or they're being utilized by DOD and our government staffers and stuff. Okay, so just a note. I don't know what's happening out there in that particular area, but I will tell you there was some big busts I just saw in Malaysia. They just had a huge human trafficking bust that just took place out in that general area, and in China, they were responsible for a bunch also. So very interesting that the timing of this. Okay, now this N173, it rolled out of our prison watch location, Terra Sierra, into Greece. I imagine that's probably a fuel stop, but don't know for sure. But it looks like it rolled out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Again, we just had a couple of days ago, remember what just took place out here in Knoxville was another mass shooting, I guess. It just happened a day or two ago, and imagine that they were there. Just what a coincidence, right? And so here we are again, from there to Terra Sierra, prison location, then from Terra Sierra over to Greece. So did they take somebody from here to there? Maybe. I don't know. Boy, it'd be nice to really know and get some confirmation on stuff, but just saying, pointing it out, something to think about. There are definitely a lot of activity going on right now, and I'm seeing them touch and go into the spa. So we just need to take note of it. Okay. All right, these are going to be your Kalita aircraft that are up right now, and I don't see anything active at the moment. I did have one just a couple minutes ago, and it was actually down here in Dominican Republic, and it has since gone away. The other one, 331CK, that's one we watch. Been watching that for a long time. Looks like it just went from Seattle, Washington, over back to Detroit, Willow Run, and that just took place yesterday. Okay, but it went from El Paso out to Seattle, Seattle to Willow Run. Right. More than likely, they were taking migrants to this location from El Paso. Just a guess, but pretty sure. All right. One other thing I wanted to point out. This is going to be your AG. And notice that he is up in Minnesota. And we just had another shooting take place. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And police chief resigned. And it's just interesting that this guy happened to be up there at the same time. So I don't know. It's amazing when you see these things and you don't trust your government on any level. And then you just kind of start piecing these things together of timing and who's where. And the coincidences just seem to just be overwhelming. So, all right. So that said, we're going to look at our Atlas airs because I just want to remind you when the DoD starts getting engaged into Europe and the Middle East, you will start to see that air traffic increase into that general area. And so we have one here. Looks like that one rolled out of Germany and it's headed into Afghanistan. So heading into Bagram. So again, like I said, when you start seeing that, get ready. Something is definitely happening that we're not going to probably hear about for a while. Okay, but I've heard that we're pulling troops out of there, and so maybe that's what Flashbang is doing. He's bringing it in and starting to remove equipment and people. Maybe, I don't know. So that said, let's get over and look at Flashbang's schedule real fast while we're talking. Looks like he did for once actually start off at the crack of dawn, 6 a.m. I know for some people crack of dawn is about 4 a.m., but for this guy, that's pretty early. And so it looks like he had an in-town pool call at the White House at 6 a.m., and he's going to wrap up today about 3:05 p.m. as he visits Section 60 of the Arlington National Cemetery. So that looks like he's up and now. Of course, notice that he is having some remarks on the way forward in Afghanistan, and we just so happen to see Atlas Air rolling into that Afghanistan day 2 in a row. Okay, so again, coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. All right, so let's get over here. I just want to take a quick look at the TFRs, look at the weather coming across, and notice all these yellows right here, and there's 5 of them. Those are all going to be air shows, and I think they got delayed because we had a weather pattern that rolled through, and so it looks like they're getting ready to get smacked again. And same thing here. I think out in West Texas, they're starting to get a little bit here. Now, it's not a bad thing because in this general area, that was a little bit further south. We got some bad droughts going on, and we're getting ready to hit fire season. So any rain is really good for that area. So, but this looks to be our latest TFR. I would imagine that's going to be VIP, and that's from the 16th to the 18th. That kind of gives you, but it's Wilmington, so that he could be, that just may be him going home for the weekend, and they're putting another box over it. Matter of fact, that's probably what that is, 16th through the 18th. All right, so there we have it. All right, let me get back to our main thing. We're going to go just take a quick look over around the globe here for a second, just to see if we've got anything happening to catch our eye. Operations here in the Middle East, looks like we've got a C-17, a UK C-17 that is actually flying right now. It's just south of the Suez Canal, but I think that thing is going to continue on down further south. It's pretty high altitude. It looks like it's leveled off at 31,000 feet, so it doesn't look to be descending or anything. So I've got a C-130, that's a United States C-130 operating out of Kuwait. And then we got another tanker air refueler that's going to be operating out of Qatar, and that's actually U.S. as well. And so, and it looks like we got an A400, Turkish A400 that's rolling out of Northern Africa area back into its home base. All right. And so that looks like we've got a little 4-ship here in northern Italy, just north of Venice. I'm not sure what they're up to. Actually, got a lot of C-130s up here. Let me hit a little persistence, see if we can get more. But we've got 4 of them right here. And like they were working it. Let me see. 2 more here. And I'm not seeing. Yeah, these are all kind of operating together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 C-130s that look like they're doing some activity here in the northern Italy area. So not sure what's going on there, but interesting data point. So, all right. That's going to be it. I think we'll just kind of wrap up from there. I just wanted to pop on and show you guys. We've got some strange things going on as it relates to Guantanamo Bay and some of the activity. And it looks like they're doing some operations out of the Apalaca area, and which is a very small remote executive airport, not on the main Miami International Airport. So, but that's it. You guys, I will be back on if anything changes or we see some more crazy stuff going on. And that's it. Be safe. God bless. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear at monkeywerxus.com.